Alright, what's up guys, Roadrunner here, so I'm about to get ready to go out and do some dumb shit out in here, but I kind of wanted to talk a little bit on something that's been bugging me. It's been bugging me for years, and it's bugging me even more now with this whole COVID bullshit going on. And the thing that's bugging me the most is the excuse of laziness. Whether you're a teenager living at home with your parents or even a young adult, or you're just some middle-aged fat guy on welfare, there is no excuse, in my opinion, why you cannot work. There's no excuse why you can't go out there and make money. And there's definitely no excuse why you feel like for 20 fucking years you gotta go out there at a street corner holding a stupid little sign asking people to give you money and all this other stuff, and to feel bad for you because supposedly your daughter is in the hospital 20 years ago and you still need money to pay that off or some bullshit like that, when we find out later on that was a whole goddamn lie. Yeah, that's happened before. Anyways, look, let me give y'all a little bit of background on my work life. I work 4 different jobs, believe it or not. A lot of people can't even get 2 jobs. Well, a lot of people could get 2 jobs, but supposedly that still can even go ahead and, pay off the bills and stuff like that. Which, to an extent, especially living in a big city, I can understand that. But living in a small rural town, or living in a town about the size of Lufkin, there's a lot of housing around here that's so cheap. Matter of fact, the house I was going to live in originally before I had my shoulder and collarbone injury years ago, I was only going to pay about $250 a month plus all bills. And all I really needed was electricity and water. That was it. That would have been extremely cheap if I had the knowledge at that time that I know now. But my point is that in my view of it and in my experience, there's no reason why you can't have a job. Especially when you have kids. There's no reason why you can't have a job. Because here's the thing, look, like I said, I technically have 4 jobs. I don't consider a job that pays you just in checks to be a actual job. I mean, it's an actual job, obviously. It's a legit job, but that can't be the only legit job. As far as I'm concerned, if it pays you in some kind of a currency, whether it's cash, check, in the old days, uh, metals, precious metals, silver and gold or whatever, as far as I'm concerned, if it could pay you in anything that resembles currency that you can use to pay off your bills and to get what it is you need for you and your family, that's a job. That's why I say I got 4 jobs. I work at the skate ranch. I'm making between 120 to 175 a week. I get paid on a weekly basis, cash only. And actually, that's my second highest paying job. My actual highest paying job, if you can call it that really, is donating plasma at BPO, because I can make, if I kept going, I just started going again today because I've been lacking going there the last couple months because I usually go with my mother and she hasn't been going lately. Um, if I was to constantly keep going to BPO, I can make anywhere between 425 to 600 a month, sometimes depending on the circumstances. And if I take advantage of the promotions they do, you can make up to 800 a month. Just on donating your plasma alone, which only takes about 45 minutes roughly, maybe an hour, something like that. As long as your protein and your water intake is good, you can donate a lot of plasma. And the more water and food you're eating and protein you're getting, the shorter the amount of time is that you actually gotta be there. And let's be honest, I can handle needles, but let's just say there's a certain person there at BPO who doesn't handle his needles well, and every time he's there, I try to avoid him like the plague. I mean, he's a nice guy, but he's just really, I just don't think, I think he needs more training with needles. I really, really do. Anyways, outside of that, those are my 2 highest paying, money paying jobs. the other two things that keeps me busy and that I make money from is can and copper collecting and yard sales now. Because, I mean, obviously everybody knows, you can get, right now it's 60 cents, 60 cents a pound through most of the country from what I've read. 60 cents per pound for a pound of aluminum cans specifically. Copper, it's varying right now. Gold and silver. Gold being the highest. Silver is anywhere between $325 to $400 and something right now per pound of silver. And since we're on the topic of metals, this goes back to my weekly vlog from yesterday or whenever this was when I did this, where I want to start trying to melt down different metals in a forge that I'm building, so I can cast out metal bars of metal of different types: gold, silver, aluminum, copper, brass, whatever. So, anyways, with the metal part and the recycling out of the way, you got the yard sale stuff. I found out, and I know I mentioned this already, but I found out from an officer who's acting as security for us at the rink last Friday that the city of Lufkin has no, the city of Lufkin has no laws or limits or anything on how often or how many times you can do a yard sale in your own front yard. Now, considering that I made $50 the first time I did this and $30 last Friday when I did it, I mean, considering that all my stuff comes from dumpster diving, I'm making some pretty good money on it. It might not be to y'all because a lot of y'all are selling stuff y'all paid even more for. Now y'all gotta sell it for either half the price or for 1/4 of the price of what you originally paid on that item that you're selling in a yard sale. So my whole point of all this is basically, in my eyes, I don't care how old you are. You could be 12-year-old Tommy walking down the road collecting cans. There is no excuse why you can't be out there making money. And there's definitely no excuse why you need to use, there's no jobs out here anymore, as an excuse to be lazy. That's complete bullshit. Because if that was the case, me being on the road, that would, I don't know, most people would think I'd be in that mindset of saying the same thing. There's no jobs out there. But hell, being on the road, I've always found work. Not like I videoed it all the time. Especially if I was just cleaning up some old lady's yard or whatever, making $5 off of that. But my point is, there is always work for us to do. And even now, with this COVID thing going on, everybody thinks there's no work, there's no food, the crops are dying, there's no water. But let me pay $800 or however much for this new stupid iPhone that's gonna shatter and break as soon as I drop it here in a couple hours. And there goes all the money I had, and there goes the money for the kids' tuitions, and blah 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 blah. Poor me. Enough with the excuses. Anyways, I only want to make this video really because I'm hoping it will motivate you guys to at least, especially those who already lost their job, they got laid off. I'm hoping it inspires you guys to at least try to do something on the side, instead of collecting welfare checks, unemployment. That's another thing too, now I think about it. Excuse me. This whole unemployment thing. Now, I can understand at the time why people wanted to be on unemployment. I mean, $600 a week, that's a lot of money. That's more money than what I'd be getting if I just stayed with BPL donating plasma. But here's the problem. My problem is, and this is another reason why probably a lot of travelers didn't even like being around with me when I was on the road, was because of the fact that hate I hate it when people would just randomly give me money. Even if I really need it for myself. I mean, I would spend every dime I had on the dogs, getting their dog food, getting their shots, whatever. But even if I was in a situation where the dogs were fine, they had their food, but I needed food, I still hated. A lot of times I would actually turn the money down. I mean, a lot of times they get pissed off when I do it, but, you know, I hate handouts. And to me, to be on unemployment and to be on food stamps, to me, that's handouts. Those are handouts. I don't like that. I don't like knowing I had to depend on someone else to randomly hand me money and then not work for it because you don't feel accomplished. You don't feel accomplished when, again, you're getting the $600 a week unemployment. You don't feel accomplished when you're standing out the street corner holding a sign or something like that. Especially when in reality you actually don't need it because you just came with some bullshit lie trying to get people to pay you for something or, you know, give you money for something that ain't true. I hate handouts. I really do. I mean, there's some cases where it's necessary, especially for a family who, you know, just lost their home. They got nowhere to be. You know, they don't have jobs anymore. The kids need to eat. I understand that. But for someone like myself, for me to just randomly go out to a street corner on the south side of Lufkin where Walmart and Sam's Club and all of them are, and to hold a sign hold on. Anyways, to hold a sign claiming this, and in fact it's not true, that's just bullshit to me. There's no room for laziness. There really isn't. So like I said, I'm hoping that I can at least inspire people to get off their ass, basically. I don't care how old they are. Again, 8, 10, 12-year-old Timmy could be, walking down the road collecting cans, and I would consider that his job, you know. So anyways, I hope you guys find it I won't say inspiring, but I hope you guys found it at least a little entertaining. I hope somebody finally actually tries to get some work even with this COVID stuff going on. Even if you believe in this COVID stuff and, you believe that you need to be staying like 6 or however feet it is away from people, collecting cans is, you're in a dumpster. Nobody wants to be around a dumpster. You're digging in trash cans. Nobody's going to want to be around you if they see that. So, anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video, and let's go do some dumpster diving.